We are back at 2:31 on this Thursday. It's March the 3rd, and we are live and local. I'm Austin Reed, coming to you from our Tower District studios inside the Mike Briggs building. This is Central Valley Talk. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. We have had so many live local guests today, from realtors to tasty treats by Chris. I mean, just so much. But now we're going to talk a little bit about loans. And joining us is Angela Hobbs. This is your first time on Central Valley Talk. Welcome.
Thanks, Austin. I'm
excited to be here.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me onto the show.
Absolutely.
Very happy to be here.
So now, tell everybody the name of your company.
So I work for Gold Standard Mortgage.
Okay.
We have about 5 branches in California. So we have Kingsburg, Fresno, Visalia, Hanford, which is being remodeled currently, and then we have one in Atascadero that we just opened on the coastline.
Oh, so, wow. Okay, yeah. You guys are growing then.
Yes, we are growing. And then we do have a couple branches in Texas, so.
Tell me a little bit about how long you've been working in the loan world.
So I started June of 2018, so I'm almost on my 4-year mark. I started as a loan assistant, then I went to processing, and then I ended up getting my license. And I feel like doing all of that, I got to learn so much prior to being an LO, and I think it's helped me grow in so many different ways, so I'm excited.
What are some of the loan updates as we're now in March?
So a lot of people know the rates have taken a huge increase. I mean, a sharp rise, but I mean, these rates are still pretty low. If you compare them to years back, even when my manager first bought her home, it was 9-10% for a home loan, you know, so it's super, I mean, these rates are still good. As far as they are predicted to go up, as everyone's heard, but even the industry experts, they're not too sure what's going to happen, especially with everything going on in the world.
Yeah, with Russia and Ukraine right now.
Yes, and we noticed when that all started, the rates kind of leveled. Not leveled, I mean, they just didn't go up quite as quickly as they have been. So it's just really hard to predict, really, really hard to predict.
I do want to know, you know, obviously there's a lot of loan companies across the valley. What sets you guys apart?
I think it's more, so Gold Standard Mortgage is kind of like that family feeling. It's like a mom and pop type deal. We are growing, so I mean, that's great. But we genuinely care about all of our clients. They treat them as family, and we like to kind of refer to our loan officers like we're the lender for life. So it's not get your loan done and, you know,
we'll never see
great, you know, have a great life. Yeah, no, I personally, I try and keep in contact with all my clients. I even send out birthday cards. I have my clients' birthdays in my phone.
That's
so
awesome.
It's just little touches here and there, just like, hey, happy birthday, just know I'm thinking about you type deal. But yeah, it's just, I think it sets us apart because we have so many different options. We are a broker, so it's not just one lane for, you know, the client. And if they don't fit in it, you know, you're SOL. Right, you know, yeah. I mean, we have so many different options depending on everyone's situation. So,
talk more though a little bit about those relationships and just you know, maybe if you can think of one recent story where you really helped a client.
So I had a realtor who had a family obviously already in process with another lender. I've never even met this realtor before, but I knew a couple of her friends who happened to drop my name. Guess they were having some kind of issues. Family was technically already kicked out of their current home, so they were kind of just bouncing from family member to family member trying to get this closed.
Which is the worst.
It was, well, and it put a lot of pressure on me too, because it's like, hey, can you save this? And luckily I did, and I was able to actually get it done in 2.5 weeks. But I really had to do a lot of smoothing over with like the listing agent, just kind of saying, hey, we will get this done. Everything's good to go, but I just need the time because, you know, we have to have this loan all put together. Long story short, they got the house. It was one of the, I guess, the biggest emotional signings I've had, just because they really thought they had put all this time, because this was months. I mean, they were like in a 60-day escrow and they just couldn't get it done. So it was really an emotional signing because they were so happy. They have kids. They literally thought they just put their money into it. Nothing was going to come about, and they got their home. And I still talk to her to this day. So they're doing well. She's actually trying to refinance. thinking about it just because the rates, you know.
And that's the other thing is yeah, I mean, there's so many things that you can do with your clients after.
Right.
The refinancing. I mean,
Right.
it's those personal touches.
Yes.
This is just the most popular question, but what advice would you have for first-time homebuyers in on this March 3rd,
Today's market.
2022? Yeah.
Today's market.
Yeah.
Save as much as you can.
Okay.
That is our biggest thing right now. Is, I mean, I'm sure you've heard, people are paying way above asking price, paying the difference if it doesn't appraise. So my biggest advice to first-time homebuyers is just save as much as you can. Get with a creative realtor who could strategize a really good offer. And it's not necessarily about putting in the highest offer. And I think you had a realtor talk about that recently, but it's really kind of catering to what the seller wants. And a lot of the times these sellers are selling their home to buy a new one, but they're needing to kind of close on this and get the money from that and put it towards the new one. So sometimes they're asking for what's called a seller in possession. A lot of people don't want to do that. They're like, hey, I want to buy this property and move in as soon as we close. But if you're willing to kind of help the seller out, it really does strengthen your offer. And not necessarily just increasing like, hey, I'll pay over $10,000, than what you're asking. But if they're asking for a little bit more, like trying to stay in the property for 2 weeks after they close, or, I mean, those are really, really big niches to getting your offer accepted. So
people can, of course, connect with you.
Absolutely.
What's the best way?
My cell phone.
Okay.
So you can reach me at 559-212-0255. Text, call. I work all hours of the day and on the weekend. So
That's a good
I'm
loan officer.
pretty much like a realtor.
Yeah.
You can get a hold of me pretty easily. And if I miss your call, I usually do send a text out saying, hey, I'm in the middle of something, and I will get back to you. So
I love it. Angela, thanks for making the time for us today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having
and
me.
come back anytime, okay?
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
I'm Austin Reed. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We'll be back with more in just a bit.